Welcome back to Xoguecraft. This is episode 4, and some things have changed. If you remember, there was a hill here. Short story is, I had something already recorded, but it turned out to be complete rubbish. And, I don't know, something happened to my audio. It was almost terrifying. So, instead of having you guys have to bear through that, I decided to just kind of cut it and give you the short version. First thing, my audio is better. This, I believe, is how it will stay unless you guys tell me that it should change some more. And if that's the case, tell me how and I'll be happy to do so. We are going to do the chicken farm. And this is actually the start of it here. I went ahead and made a new concept world where I built this back out and I made some preliminary designs of, you know, what's going to happen about the chicken farm and stuff. Which I'm going to go ahead and cut to a snippet I already have made so you guys can see around what I'm going to make. And then I'm just going to pop back and it's going to be done. This is going to be filled in. And along with that, if you see down here, it kind of goes into a cave. And before I show you the snippet of my concept world, I think I'm going to go ahead and throw that in because I found something down there I want you to see. So, let's go ahead and cut to that, and I guess we'll find out exactly what's going on after that. Alright, so I was digging the hole for the chicken farm, and I ran into a cave. So I followed it for a while. I hit a patch of redstone right around this area, and it kind of led me directly into this room. So we're going to go check it out. I already took care of the, situation, but it's still pretty cool nonetheless. Cool little skeleton farm here, or going to be a skeleton farm rather. The chest, I didn't touch anything in it yet. So it looks like we do have a golden apple. That's kind of cool. Bunch of music discs. I might have to make a music room. It would be much better if you could auto load some of these things into a jukebox or something. But yeah, I mean, there's some stuff in here. It's not too great, not too awesome. And it's right next door to yeah, a lava pool. So that's kind of cool. When I was coming down here to take care of it, I actually I heard some of the skeletons falling into the lava and dying. So that was interesting. Lava was actually helping me in this case. But I did just find this, and I wanted to show it to you. And now that I have, I'm going to get back to work. We'll do something with this later. I told you we were going to do a chicken farm, and that is what we are going to do. That will be done. So, I'm going to hop back to that, and I'll see you in a bit. And here we are in my concept world. Very flat. Very slab filled and very quartzy. Yes, it's a word. I just made it up. So, now the reason I chose this is just because I really like slabs and I really like quartz. And the added benefit is that this texture, it has the borders. So when I fly really high, I can still count blocks without too much of a problem. And when I'm up close, the border is really easy to see because of the light color of the block. So, that's why I chose that. I also made it 2 levels, separated by 4 levels of air. And that's only because I tend to dig through the ground quite often. I'm not sure what my problem is with starting a few layers above the earth, but it seems to be a bit of an issue. So, I figured 4 levels above. That should be nice, and this way I have a platform to walk on when I'm placing my blocks here. I don't have to fly around the whole time. But let me go ahead and just break through this. So, that's that story. There's another one missing around here somewhere. I'll fix that later. So here we are in... Actually, there it is. Let me go take care of this. Whoop, that's not what I wanted to do. Alright, so... First things first is this is the design for the chicken. This is what you're going to see on the side of this path, coming from whatever that thing is. And you're going to come over here and you're going to be able to get your cooked chicken and your feathers. But also down here, just because that guy likes to lay eggs and I didn't want to see items floating around all the time, I hooked it up to a hopper and chest. He's laid 4 so far. So this is all you're going to see. These are droppers facing upwards, but there's nothing underneath. That's just so I can get the look. And don't worry, I know this is not pretty. I will make it better. I might do so before I actually put it into the world. So when we go back to, you know, the Xoguecraft server, it might be different than this. But right now, this is how it's going to look. It is functional. You know, as you saw, I can open both chests, so that's not an issue. And I like the idea of having, instead of, you know, signs or item frames or whatever, which I still might put on the end of these chests, but, you know, you see the animal that it comes from. I think that's kind of cool. So that's something I definitely want to keep, even if the design does change. I want to keep with that. So I'm gonna play with that as much as I can. But yeah, you might see something different. And the other thing about slabs is that, you know, we are on hard, always hard. So mobs can't spawn on these, but unfortunately when I start building things, they can spawn on those. So I will get a couple. We'll name you Jim. What's up, Jim? I should get a name tag. I'll do that later. I'll name the next one Jim. Why Jim? I don't know. But on the way over here, this is the design for the chicken farm. Now, before you say it, yes, it's much bigger than the other ones. Yes, I could make it smaller, but I don't want to. The reason for that is just because this has an added feature in it that I really want. Well, a couple of them, really. Now, I'm sure many of you have seen these before, but so I'm going to quickly run through this. If you guys want some kind of a tutorial or something on how to build something similar to this, then let me know and I will hook that up. But for now, I'm just going to run through real quick so we don't have to spend too much time on the explanation of how things work. So we'll actually start from the end. These are the chests that you saw over there beside the chicken over there. This is where you're going to get the cooked chicken and the feathers. Now, yes, they need to be spaced out, but that's not too hard of a, you know, modification to make in the actual server, so I'm not too worried about that. Standard torch tower hooked up to a standard dropper tower. We'll call it that, a dropper tower. And, you know, obviously there's 2 of them because of the fact that there's an item filter in here. So anytime cooked chicken gets sent down this, you know, hopper chain. Which one was that? Nope, that was just breaking eggs. So anytime cooked chicken comes down through here, maybe we'll see one. No? No? Really? Did you not drop anything? You are a fantastic chicken. Anyway. So, cooked chicken goes up this one, and likewise, feather goes up this one. And this over here, anything that's not cooked chicken or feather is going to keep going into this dropper, which is hooked up to its own little clock. You know, anytime there's an item in here, this is going to activate and tick for as many items as many items that is in here. I cannot speak that sentence. I don't know why. Anyway, basically they're all going to be spit out onto a cactus and destroyed. Now this is, you know, a fairly standard clock. There might be other schematics to it, other ways to do it, but the relative idea is always the same. And I have quite a few of them, so I'm probably going to skip them. I'll just make a quick mention to it, and that'll be it. And yeah, you see 2 more here. Those just, you know, help the hopper chain or dropper chain start. Now up here we have the parents. I think I have the parents being populated now, so there should be quite a few of them. And that is the added feature that I added in, and the second reason it's larger. This switch right here is what does that. Now, what happens is the parents will lay eggs into these hoppers, which go into a chest, and based on which of these redstone signals are active, it will, you know, activate or deactivate a hopper, sending it to the right place. So here, it's going to go directly in, and it's going to start, you know, populating the kill room or kill chamber for the chickens. So we start to get the cooked chicken and feathers. And the reason that one's active now is because this one's powered, which is powering the hopper, as well as this block. So this hopper is unable to suck anything out of the chest, which means this one's getting all of them. And likewise, if we were to flip the switch, you'll see that the power changed to this one. So now they're all going to go into this hopper, into this dropper chain upwards, into a dispenser here, which has another clock, as you just saw it go off, which then populates the parent room. So that is why it's bigger. This is the design. Some things might be moved. Obviously, the switch isn't going to be in the same place, but that's not hard to move, as you can see. It's just one redstone line that'll move, you know. But basically, this is how it's going to work. And this is what I'm going to use. And while there may be simpler solutions to the problem, you know, that I had, I wanted to be able to populate the parents. This is what I came up with. So again, this is what I'll use. Now, why do I want to populate the parents? And that's just because since it's going to be in spawn, I don't want to have too many chickens right off the bat if I don't need that much chicken. But if you remember from episode 1, I told you about a little contest, which I'll probably reiterate, I don't know, sometime later. I want to add people to the server. And when that happens, if that happens, you know, they might need chicken too. So if we start to run out, I can just flip a switch and we have more parents. And that can just grow until we can maintain a food source for everybody. And that's the general idea. But that little hut thing is going to be on top of this, and this is going to be the ground floor. I'll be sinking this further down just so you don't have to hear so many chickens. It'll be pretty far down, which is why that hole is going to be really, really deep. So, now that the explanation's done, I should probably start working on the chicken farm on the server. So, when it's done, I'll be right back to show it to you. Hey people. Yes, I did just say people. Reason for that is because guys are not the only ones who watch this. So saying guys all the time, probably a no-no. Anyway, we are down at the bottom of the hole where the chicken farm is going to be. The guts of it. You know, this is where it's going to operate, and then all of the items will be shipped back up to the top for easy collection. Now, since the video is only like 11 or 12 minutes long right now, and I don't have enough content to fill the gap, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go through this cave, and I'm going to let you watch me struggle while I find something to talk about and, you know, try to kind of go through this cave a little bit before I have to cover it and find a new entrance. Or make a new entrance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to this dark area, and I'm just going to start talking, I guess. So, that's happening. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is my tools. I realized that I didn't fully explain things, and if I did, it was probably in episode 2 when I told you about my Down with the Silkness pick. And that pick is now gone. And that's just because it became way too expensive to repair. So that's just, I think that's something that's going on. The renaming it doesn't really help it, you know, keep its durability like it used to. So now your picks will eventually be too expensive to repair, and you will either have to let them run out or you know, something else to take the enchantments off, just so you can actually remake it. But they will all have to be remade at some point. So what I do is I actually split some of the functionality of my picks. You see I have two of them here. I have Silk and I have Worker. And actually I'm going to go back up here and go down because I think this has more places to go. So Silk has Silk Touch and Unbreaking 3. And then Worker has Efficiency 5 and Unbreaking 3. That way I should, in theory, be able to repair them at least one extra time before they run out. And it's not too difficult because there's not too many things you really need to break, you know, with the Silk Touch pick. So it taking a little bit longer is not going to be too big of a hassle. And then Worker can just kind of be for everything else. Apparently I was wrong about going down. So I guess we'll go this way. So that's what I do. I just have Silk Touch and Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 5 and Unbreaking 3 on my picks. Swords, you don't really go through too much. Picks are usually the biggest problem. You know, I might have to remake a sword later, way later. But in reality, you don't really use them all that much, so they're not too big of a problem. So let's go down here. Hi, Skelly. You just tried to shoot. Oh, he's gone. I guess I should probably dig down. That way I have a way back up, huh? So I am going to try to keep the place lit, but I don't know how well that's going to work because I'm trying to do things and talk at the same time. So if it does get dark, I apologize. Come on, creeper. What'd you try to go in the water for? I can't see you. Ah, well. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is an experience I had recently with a 2016 presidential hopeful. He wanted me to make a website for him. And, you know, I don't know, something like that. I kind of wanted to agree with his views and his, you know, what he was trying to fix. I don't know, it just kind of worked out pretty well. You know, it seemed like it was pretty good. Stop shooting me. And you have armor on. Of course you have armor on. Where'd the creeper go? I know there's one. I swear I'm usually a better shot than this. Die. There's another one around here somewhere. I know there is. So, you know, I went to a meeting with this guy. I am going to refrain from saying his name until I look further into YouTube's policy to see if there's anything wrong with it. As far as I can see, it kind of falls within the area of freedom of speech. But I don't want to bash anybody's name, even if they've just done me wrong. But I went to a meeting with this guy, and it seemed that, you know, everything was going okay. And I was showing him some of my old designs. I was going to walk him through my plans for his place. Or his website that I was going to make for him. And first and foremost, he's a pizza delivery guy. So, you know, that kind of made me question how dedicated he was to it. Oh, torches. Got it. So he actually had to run before I fully explained everything that I was going to do. Show him everything. He had to go and take a delivery. After he got back, I was still sitting out there in their little, you know, dining room or whatever, and I was sitting there and just waiting for him to come back and talk to me. I don't know, maybe he could take a break or something, but no, he wasn't doing anything. And I know this because he was sitting on his phone. From the sounds of it, he was playing some kind of a game. So he pretty much completely blew me off. When I was about to get up and leave, another buddy that I have working there, who actually introduced me to this guy, he came over. He said he's about to come over and, you know, talk to you in a second. I was like, all right, well, he's been slacking a little bit, but I guess I'll wait it out a little bit more just to see what he's got to offer. And so I waited, and he just left and went home. You know, they close at 9, 8:40, he walked out the back door, got in his car, and drove off. Now, I'm not one to brag. I'm not a big fan of, bragging or anything. But if something needs to be done on a website, I can do it. And I can make it look really good. That's just, this isn't even me saying this so much as it is all of the compliments I've received on other websites I've created for people. From what I understand, they are not bad websites by any means. And the one he has now, which if I gave you that address, it would be a little bit, I don't know. It would basically give you his name. So I'm not going to go there. But, yeah, it's not the greatest website. We'll just put it that way. So the long and the short of it, if I am allowed to, divulge his name later on, I will do so. And I will probably continue to remind everybody not to vote for him if he happens to make it, onto whatever ballot or whatever. So, yeah. But I'll get into that further later if things are actually allowed to work like that. But for now, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do what I was saying last time. I think I did okay with the talking and doing things at the same time. I think I did okay. But let me know what you think. But I'm going to go ahead back up. I'm going to finish this chicken farm and I'm going to let you see the finished product. All right. Here we are. Back at the spawn area. And the chicken farm is done. Got chicken? Yes, we do. Feathers too. So the design did change. The sides and the back aren't all that great, so that'll probably change a little bit. But the front, I think the front looks pretty good. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know what you think about the back and the sides. Because I am looking for a little bit of a change there. But overall, it is functional. So I think it'll work out well. There is a hopper underneath this guy right here that is collecting eggs, putting them into this chest. I don't need this much storage for it, but that's okay. And just for those of you who are more observant, you see a hopper here, but you also realize we're not quite on the level of the chicken. That's because there's a hopper, and then a chest, and then another hopper. So there actually is quite a bit of storage down there. But I think the farm, the chicken farm, I think it works. I think it's good. So we're going to leave it like this for a while until I come up with an idea or some ideas on how to make it better. And until then, we have chicken. Now, if you remember, I said that I was exploring the cave until I covered it up, which it was right around this area. So now it's covered up, which means I made a new entrance, which is just kind of down here. I'm not going to go down there because it's just, the standard little spiral stairs. Nothing special. But that drops us right above the skeleton's spawner. So that'll be handy. It's right beside the spawn area, which is also handy. So I'll probably build, some kind of a cave entrance or something off of this. Have some kind of elevator or something. Just heading down to that farm. And I think it'll work out pretty well. So a couple other notes before I end the episode. First thing is that at the end of episode 3, I mentioned that I was going to be doing 1 episode per week to start out, but pretty soon I'd be going up to 2 a week. Well, I was making that episode before I even started publishing my videos, before I started making them public. And for that, I'm sorry. I know that's usually considered a no-no, but I was trying to make sure that I wouldn't lose track of, that I wouldn't get behind, basically. I wanted to make sure that, I could keep up. That, and there were some things going on, in my life that were taking extra time that I had to deal with, but I didn't want to prevent that or make that prevent me from recording. So I went ahead and recorded them and just kind of held on to them until I knew that I would have enough time to continue the episodes, and now I do. And now I can do 2 a week, no problem. Now, I upload them on Mondays and Thursdays. But I don't have a set time for that. So, if you are waiting for them or you want to make notes about it or whatever, just expect to see them on Tuesday and Friday. So sometimes it'll probably be midnight or later, Eastern Standard Time, when I actually put them online and put them public. But who knows? Maybe it'll be about 5 o'clock my time. I don't have a set schedule for it yet. I may end up making one, but right now, you should have absolutely no problem with seeing them on Tuesdays or Fridays. You shouldn't run into any issues with not being able to find them or anything like that. So, just a note about that. Next thing is that in episode 1, right in the beginning, I mentioned a contest that I wanted to hold, or several of them, to get more people onto this server. I'm still planning on doing that, and I'm pretty much ready to do that whenever I get enough viewers. So tell your friends, get people involved, redirect some of your, viewers, if you're a YouTuber, to this channel. I would be much appreciated. I just want to get enough people so I can start bringing them on. If it takes too long to get to the number that I need before I can actually start doing these contests, then I'm going to have to push it off. I'll probably still do the contests in this season, but I'll have to just kind of jot down the names of the winners, keep in contact with them until I start the next season, and then invite those people right off the bat in the second season. Because there will be more seasons. Believe me. So, just keep that in mind. If you're interested in having a server, I explained it a little more in depth in the beginning of episode 1. I know the audio quality isn't all that great, but if you bear through the first few minutes, right before I do that initial exploring montage time-lapse thing, then you will get the details, all the details you need if you are interested and curious. But I believe that's about all I've got for today, for this episode. See if I can do this right. There we go. Me and my diamond helmet. My iron one broke. I figured, why not? Let's go diamond. But if you like this episode, click that like button. If you want to see more, click that subscribe button. And tell your friends. I think I'm in the groove now. My videos will only get better from here. I am still inexperienced, but that will change given time. So, I guess I'll see you all in the next episode.